Good morning. I just want to sigh and take in the joy of being with you all today. It's beautiful to be here back with you. It's been a long, fun, sometimes not so fun summer, but it's nice to see you all. And now, God, please be with us as I share my thoughts on today's gospel. Help us all to hear what it is that, God, you might want us to hear. Amen. So before church started, I told Ramona that I was going to start my sermon today by saying, thank goodness this gospel is short, for we really went on a journey with Exodus. And she said it was okay, so I thought I'd throw it in. Now we'll go to our gospel. This gospel reading, although short, I feel is packed full with what I think of as God nutrients. A mere 7 verses, yet I found it life-changing, and I don't think I can read this gospel again without knowing what I know now. This pericope starts with telling us the location that Jesus and the 12 have walked to. Do we really need to know where they are? Yeah, we actually do. Caesarea Philippi is not merely a secluded area to get away from crowds to teach. In this reading, it is much more than that. The area where Jesus and the 12 are located has deeply religious historical value. It's located at the foothills of Mount Hermon, mere miles from the mouth of the Jordan River. It had exchanged hands to various worshippers of pagan gods, including Pan, an ancient Greek god of the wild of the flocks. The area where they were all standing contained a water-filled cave. It was really, really big, that the followers of Pan believed to be the gates of hell, the gates of Hades. Later, when Roman rulers controlled the area, around 20 AD, Herod the Great received this land as a patronage and then erected a white marble temple, which he dedicated to that patron, Caesar Augustus, while also showing off his own greatness. Eventually, the patronage was handed on to Caesar Philippi. Caesar Philippi then enhanced the temple to showcase his own political greatness. Thus, the area became Caesarea Philippi. This area also became known for its extreme version of idolatrous grandiosity. So there they are. Jesus, when at this site, appears to throw a softball question to the disciples, and they answer, stating that many people think Jesus is actually a dead prophet come to life, or even in some readings, John the Baptist returned to life. All people from the past, none of them living. Then Jesus asks the penultimate question, who do you think I am? They are silent. What might they be thinking? We aren't privy to what they're thinking, but we are privy to where Simon goes with this. And Simon answers, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. He sees Jesus, not the physical man before him. He understands that Jesus is different. He understands that Jesus is not revived from the dead and from the past. Simon understands that Jesus is of God. God is alive in Jesus. Simon understands also that God has not died like the prophets have. This is a turning point for Simon in his relationship with God and Jesus. I think it can be a turning point that any of us who come to mature belief in God experience as well. In the very next verse, Jesus recognizes that God was in Simon, and Simon has seen the truth. He goes on to honor Simon with a new name. New names have great meaning. We have new names for different situations. Sometimes we're named mom, sometimes we're named minister, sometimes we're named reverend or dad or teacher or bricklayer. And sometimes those names fill us with pride and joy. But then they're accompanied by a sense of responsibility. You know, that kind of feeling where you pause and go, uh-oh, I hope I'm doing this right. Think of baptism as another example. Think about how joyous we are that we recognize that our children are now safe in God's hands. Now they're not just merely children, they're named God's children. The joy is great, the pictures are taken, and then the thought, the understanding that along with that new name of being God's child, there is the responsibility of raising them as God's children. Uh-oh, I hope I'm doing this right. Moving forward from baptism to our teens, this is a time when many young adults get confirmed into their faith community. It is meant as an outward sign of adult commitment to Christ. I was first confirmed in the Roman Catholic tradition. It is common in this tradition for prospective confirmands to be asked to take on a new name. Really? Why? It's to affirm our deeper, more intimate relationship and commitment to Christ. And of course, the nuns ensured that we had new names that resonated the deeper relationship and connection with Christ. We simply couldn't name ourselves Tom, Dick, and Harry. I still remember that excitement. That excitement was mixed with being worried about the responsibility of being an adult Christian, an adult follower of Christ. And I sighed, uh-oh, I hope I do this right. Now let's get back to Simon. His new name is Peter. This word comes from Greek and Latin Petros. It means rock. Just thinking about the word rock makes me stand up straighter. It reflects solidity, durability, a sense of lasting throughout all time. I try to imagine how Peter might have felt with all of that. Maybe he had pride and joy initially, and then the seriousness that hits him of being renamed by Jesus. This renaming comes with the understanding that Jesus is asking Peter to be the rock, the solid, reliable believer Jesus needs. And the rock, the place they are standing in itself, is where Jesus reveals the ecclesia. And this is a Greek word that literally means assembly. And assembly is often translated into church. Jesus is naming the ecclesia. He goes on to also name his divine authority. Lastly, as he gives the keys to heaven for Peter, he's giving Peter authority as well. Peter is to lead the church after Jesus is gone. Not only is Peter to continue the ecclesia, Jesus, by choosing this particular site, is also affirming that the gates of hell will not prevail against God's church. Jesus is informing all the unctuous idolaters who have come before that the true God is present and that God is with us forever. Before I end, I have one last tidbit. When Jesus used the word ecclesia, not only was he referring to the literal meaning, church, he was also referring to the living body of believers. That is church. That's who we are, the ecclesia. We are the living body of believers. Like Peter, we too have been named to carry on the church. Amen.